Hi Chris, Stellan from Sweden here. I know you have the Morrissey tattoo and the Lose Well tattoo. So I have a couple of questions about your tats. Could you talk about the ones you have? Do you have any others? And do you plan on getting more ink? If so, what and where? Thanks.
Great
Bye.
question, Stellan. Great question. Thank you for sending it. That was very succinct. Some of our other contributors have a problem. They got the gift of the gab, you know? Very succinct and to the point. I will also say this. It was really great meeting you in New York, and one of my great regrets, I was very, very busy and stressed out during that stretch and did not get to hang out with you enough one-on-one, and I apologize for that, and I wish we got to hang out more, and I hope we get to again someday. In the meantime, I have the Morrissey tattoo. This is from when he signed my arm. And then I have, as you mentioned, the Lose Well tattoo, which I went and got on my own. And then I have this, it takes strength to be gentle and kind, which is a Smiths lyric on the same arm as a pre-existing Morrissey tattoo. So I feel a little silly about that. These two were impulse buys during a summer full of endless panic attacks. This one I thought a lot about, and Keith Haskell in particular was like, do not get that. Phil Jackson was like, yo, dope. And I went and got it. And I like it a lot. There's a part of me that wonders, I put it on the same arm as the Morrissey, so this would be my Morrissey arm. It might be a little much though, a little ridiculous. The Lose Well one, I don't regret. I love the sentiment. I love that that idea came up. It's a little weird that I'm effectively quoting myself in a tattoo, but I feel like Random Gene and Phil's poem really filled out what that meant. So I felt like the sentiment was something so close to my heart. But you can see it's very, very basic. I got it to match this one in the same font, but I think the font looks a lot better, smaller. And this one is one that I think I wish I put more thought into making it like more graphic or maybe more colorful. So I do sometimes think about going back to a tattoo parlor and seeing if they can like upgrade this one, maybe with like the 4 TCGS colors behind it, but I don't know how hard that is. But I've thought about it. But I have thought about getting other tattoos. I don't know if I'll ever do it. Like I said, like this one Morrissey signed me, so I think everybody's like, you gotta do that. When he actually signed me, I turned around to my friend I was with, I was like, I gotta get that tattooed, right? And his answer was, your other option is to not get it tattooed, and you're not doing that. So it was like given. These two, like I said, impulse buys over a bad summer, but I do like them. I've thought about, for some reason I really like text tattoos, like words. I haven't really thought about any drawings myself. I'm like a very verbal guy, a very verbal thinker, and I don't know how much actual text I want on my body, but I've thought about getting, a quote from On the Road at one point. I mean, it's probably a sign that I did the right thing by not getting the quote, that I can't remember the quote off the top of my head. That's probably a good sign. It was that quote, give me the mad ones, like I thought that really fit me, and that's one of my favorite books, as cliche as that is. I thought about getting a quote from The Little Prince, which is the children's book about you don't see with your eyes, you see everything. What is it? You see with your, everything worth seeing, you see with your heart, not with your eyes. I think that's a beautiful quote. I actually thought about getting that in like invisible ink, like a brand. I think Julia Nathan has a tattoo that's just like her skin is slightly raised and you can barely see it, but I thought the idea of a quote about how you can't see beautiful things just with your eyes in invisible ink would have been really cool. But then again, I'm not like a 15-year-old French kid, you know, like that's, you're European. I feel like, doesn't that seem like a really French artsy thing to do? Like, I don't think I could be a 33-year-old man that's like, check out my invisible quote from The Little Prince, you know? So I don't think I can do that, you know? I think theoretically those are cool, but they are not cool at all. And then besides that, I don't know. There's a part of me that feels like maybe when I have kids, I'll want to have tattoos to commemorate that somehow, if that happens. My favorite book is To Kill a Mockingbird. I've thought about getting quotes from that. The Giving Tree is another book I love. But that's so depressing. Like if I got like, and then the tree was happy, that's actually such a depressing thing. Which I guess who am I to not all of a sudden turn against depressing things? But I don't know. If I got any drawing, it would probably be a picture of the Giving Tree. Because I think that book's just about how you should treat people, you know? So those are the vague, rambling thoughts about what it is. If I do anything next it will be to get this one a little flashier. I actually am really jealous of Omar's Lose Well tattoo. I think it's much better than mine. Every other Lose Well tattoo that I've seen is better than the one I have, which just looks like some asshole typed it on a typewriter because I said, like, let's do the typewriter font, and then some asshole just did it. Some guy I didn't know. It's fine. I thought he was like, he did this one too, and I thought he was going to be like my tattoo guy, and then he made me sit and wait for like 2 hours. He was like, I'm going to be finishing up with this one in 15 minutes, and then I just felt like a dick. But I like it. Hey everybody, if you want to ask any other questions of me or anybody else from the world of TCGS, we're happy to answer any questions you have. We're not qualified to answer them, but we'll answer them. Just send your videos to zerolaughs@gmail.com, put in the subject, AskTCGS. We'll make sure they get to the appropriate parties. We'll get your questions answered, whatever you want to ask. Really, I would encourage you to specifically direct very annoying questions to Noah for me.